Surah number 89, Al-Fajr, the dawn, verses 1, by the dawn, verses 2, and by 10 nights, verses 3, and by the even number and the odd, verses 4, and by the night when it passes, verses 5. Is there not in all that an oath sufficient for one perception? Verses 6. Have you not considered how your Lord dealt with Ad? Verses 7. With Iram, who had lofty pillars. Verses 8. The likes of whom had never been created in the land. Verses 9. And with Thamud, who carved out the rocks in the valley. Verses 10. And with Pharaoh, owner of the stakes. Verses 11. All of whom oppressed within the lands. Verses 12. And increased therein the corruption. Verses 13. So your Lord poured upon them a scourge of punishment. Verses 14. Indeed, your Lord is in observation. Verses 15. And as for man, when your Lord tries him, and thus is generous to him and favors him, he says, My Lord has honored me. Verses 16. But when he tries him and restricts his provision, he says, My Lord has humiliated me. Verses 17. No, but you do not honor the orphan. Verses 18. And you do not encourage one another to feed the poor. Verses 19. And you consume inheritance, devouring it altogether. Verses 20. And you love wealth with immense love. Verses 21. No, when the earth has been leveled, pounded, and crushed. Verses 22. And your Lord has come, and the angels, rank upon rank. Verses 23. And brought within view, that day is hell. That day man will remember, but what good to him will be remembrance. Verses 24. He will say, Oh, I wish I had sent ahead. Some good for my life. Verses 25. So on that day, none will punish severely as his punishment. Verses 26. And none will blind as severely as his blinding of the evildoers. Verses 27. To the righteous it will be said, O reassured soul. Verses 28. Return to your Lord, well pleased and pleasing to him. Verses 29. And enter among my righteous servants. Verses 30. And enter my paradise.